Monday, December 3rd, 2018, 2 p.m. in council chambers. So we will call the meeting to order, and first up is the adoption of some minutes. The Committee of the Whole minutes of November 19th and the regular open minutes of November the 19th. Could I have a motion, please? Thank you. Councillor King and Councillor Rhodes, all in favor. Thank you. Before we go on, I should say that Councillor Harvey is not with us today, but he is on the phone with us. So welcome, Councillor Harvey. He's in Ottawa in the snow. No, he said it was warm there, I think. So business arising from prior minutes, there are none. And introduction of late items, nothing. So could we have a motion, please, to have the agenda adopted? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. No delegations and no water matters. First up is some correspondence, and that would be from the Osoyoos Museum. So is that you? Can you speak to? Yes, please. Oh, would you like to speak to that? Sure. Okay.
Okay. We have a letter from the Osoyoos Museum Society requesting a letter of support for a grant application that they wish to make to the Community Cultural and Recreation Program. This is a federal provincial program. They will be applying for $1.25 million in infrastructure funding to assist with the $2 million museum renovation. So a part of the requirements for the grant is a letter of support from the town. So that's what they're asking for today.
Good. Thank you very much. And I see that their last sentence is, we believe the new museum is a key element in the downtown Osoyoos redevelopment and revitalization plan. And 2020 will be coming quickly. That's when they get it. So could we have a motion to write a letter of support? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor King, and staff will write a letter and,
that's right, yes,
forward it to the museum or to the people that
we'll forward it to the museum, and they'll include it in their package.
Good. Thank you very much. So all in favor? Thank you very much. I assume you're in favor, Councillor Harvey?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thanks. Just checking. Next is the Good Neighbour Bylaw. This be Mr. Dinwiddie.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. So for a bit of background once again, every year the Operational Services Department wages a desperate struggle to control the spread of puncture vine and long spine sandbird in our community. These invasive plant species are particularly aggressive in our area and are the frequent cause of many a popped bike tire along our walking and biking trails. Although our community trails are monitored and preventative actions are taken to eliminate the presence of these invasive plants, they continue to spread throughout the community because property owners may not be managing the boulevard areas in front of their property. The seeds of puncture vine are very easily spread through contact with clothing, shoes, tires, pet fur, etc. So for an overview, the Operational Services Department would like Town Council to amend the Town of Osoyoos Good Neighbour Bylaw number 1277 to help control the spread of the above-noted invasive weeds in our community. The proposed amended bylaw was read for the first two times on May 22nd, 2018, and for a third time at the November 19th, 2018 regular Town Council meeting. Implications for the community are improved control of property-damaging invasive plants in our community, organizationally, possible reduction in trail maintenance costs if there is a reduction in the number of weed control passes the Operational Services Department crews have to make during a growing season. Budget-wise, there's no impacts. Significant dates in order for these proposed amendments in place for the beginning of the puncture vine and long spine sandbird growing season is about the end of May, the beginning of June. The Operational Services Department requests the Town Council adopts this amendment as soon as possible, and sustainability, there are no impacts. So the options before Council are that Town Council adopts Good Neighbour Amendment Bylaw number 1277.01 2018. Option 2 is that Good Neighbour Amendment Bylaw number 1277.01 2018 be returned to staff for further changes. And option number 3 is that Good Neighbour Amendment Bylaw number 1277.01 2018 be abandoned. The recommendation from administration is that Council adopt option number 1.
Thank you very much. And the bylaw is here with just one added amendment. Go. Anybody like to? Councillor Bennett.
I would move that we adopt the Good Neighbour Amendment, bylaw number 1277.01, 2018.
Thank you. And it's been seconded by Councillor Rhodes. Is there anyone who wishes to go ahead? Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. I know I asked this last time. I'd like to ask it again because we are in Granicus. How do you control this stuff? Maybe you can offer some advice to the homeowners.
Well, what we're asking the
rest of
homeowners, if you pull the weeds when they're early and they don't have the seed pods developing yet, then it doesn't spread very quick. You prevent it from spreading. You can spray it with Roundup. That'll just kill the existing plant. However, it won't kill the seeds. And however, if you bury it under about 4 inches of mulch, but be it gravel or bark mulch or whatever it is, that will also kill the plant.
And could I ask, if you do end up pulling it out, and you should wear gloves if it's got the
If it already has the seed pods, yeah, you should, and you should double bag it. So
Double
you
bag,
should put it
that's
in
what I
2
was-
garbage bags to make, because the pods will easily puncture a single garbage bag.
and then it goes out with your regular garbage, so you can put
Yeah.
it out with garbage? Okay.
Yeah, and it's buried very, very deep in the landfill. When we get puncture buying bags and stuff like that, it's buried deep so that it can't spread.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
the manufacturers of slime will be very unhappy with our decision today.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we move the option is to adopt the Good Neighbour bylaw. All in favor? Thank you. Councillor Harvey?
In favor.
Thank you. That was unanimous. And next is the council reports, council meeting reports, and there are 3 of them there for Councillor Harvey, Councillor King, and the mayor. Could you two? Okay, thank you. Councillor Rhodes? Can we move all 3 of them at once?
Yep.
Thank you very much. And it's,
So moved.
Councillor Rhodes moved, and Councillor Bennett has seconded that. All in favor? Thank you very much. And next is the Cottonwood Park retaining wall. Mr. Dinwiddie.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For background, in the spring of 2018, Osoyoos Lake encountered above-average lake levels that caused significant flooding throughout the town's lakeside locations. On May 1st of 2018, the combination of these floodwaters and repeated wave action impacted the Cottonwood Park area. The existing Allen Block retaining wall running adjacent to the lake's edge encountered erosion of the silts and sands behind as they were drawn out by the impact of the waves from the lake. As a result, the 4 wall sections now are of reverse batter, which meaning they're leaning outward. Concrete and asphalt walkways have sunken, and the surrounding landscape also has been compromised. True Consulting Limited has developed a repair plan which consists of the following. So repairs to a pre-disaster condition are: you dismantle and reconstruct the Allen Block wall, reinstate steel handrails, remove, dispose, and reconstruct hard surfaces such as concrete and asphalt walkways, reinstate existing irrigation system that was severed in multiple locations. The estimated total cost, not including GST, is $321,000. However, if you want to repair the wall for real, so real repair walls complete with improvements include wall stability improvements complete with geogrid, filter fabric, and drain rock, a storm sewer drainage system, riprap fabric, a pit run at the toe of the wall, reinstate the landscaping, upgrade stamped asphalt with concrete. The estimated total cost, not including GST, is $518,000. The town of Osoyoos received a letter from Emergency Management BC, file DFA 1819-03, on October 25th, 2018, stating that they are willing to fund $281,565 toward repairing the Cottonwood Park retaining wall, and there's a letter attached. It should be noted that Emergency Management BC will only pay to restore the wall to its pre-disaster condition with no improvements. There are also 10 existing decorative street lights in the retaining wall area in Cottonwood Park, which could be replaced as part of this Cottonwood Park rehabilitation project. The improvements to the walkway is a restoration project that will make the lights look out of date. The estimated cost to replace the existing lights with new LED lights and poles, same design as currently installed on the canal pathway, is $40,000. The funding for this component of the project would be supplied as part of our waterfront improvement areas of the resort municipality funding. The light will be LED, therefore our night sky will improve and our operating costs will decrease. The implications for the community: elimination of a public safety concern and improvement to the general appearance of a much-used public beach area. Organizationally, reduced maintenance cost for the Operational Services Department for both the retaining wall and park street lights. Excuse me. Budget-wise, there are several different funding options for this project as outlined below. So if you want to repair to pre-disaster condition, it's $321,000 minus the $281,565 from DFA funding plus $40,000 for RMI funding, gives you $79,435 funding from reserves. However, and if you do the project without the lighting, it's $39,435. Repairs with improvements designed to withstand future flooding events are the $518,000 minus the $281,565 of DFA funding plus $40,000 from RMI funding. You get $276,435 funding from reserves. And if you don't do the project without lights, it's $236,435. Excuse me. This project should be undertaken in the early spring of 2019 and ideally completed by Victoria Day civic holiday. In order to meet this proposed construction schedule, this project will require pre-budget approval from Town Council. If Town Council approves the repair work with improvements designed to withstand future flooding events, the Cottonwood Park area would be enhanced for years to come. So there are several options for Council. Option number one is that Town Council gives pre-budget approval to tender the repair of the Cottonwood Park retaining wall, complete with improvements and upgraded park lighting. Option number two is that Town Council gives pre-budget approval to tender the repair of the Cottonwood Park retaining wall to pre-disaster level and upgrade park lighting. Option number three is the Town Council gives pre-budget approval to tender the repair of the Cottonwood Park retaining wall, complete with improvements without any upgrades to park lighting. Option number four, Town Council gives pre-budget approval to tender the repair of the Cottonwood Park retaining wall, repaired to a pre-disaster condition without any upgrades to park lighting. Option number five is the Town Council does not give approval to repair the Cottonwood Park retaining wall. And option number six is that Town Council requests additional information prior to making a decision. The recommendation of administration is that Council adopt option number one.
Thank you very much. I think you've got a cold or a cough because you were out turning on Christmas lights.
I was out turning on Christmas lights.
For the Christmas parade, which we thank you for.
No worries.
So, Councillor King.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. If this was to get passed, would that be two different tenders, one for like the brickwork and one for the lights?
Yep, we could do it that way.
Well, I don't know. I'm not suggesting you do. I'm just thinking people with bricks might not be able to do the electrical, or would the post be done in-house?
Well, we would buy the posts and the lights. The town would buy them, and then we'd hire somebody to install them.
Yeah, so it's kind of separate. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Zackel.
Thank you. Just to provide a couple of additional points of information with respect to this is on the report, it reports that GST is not included. For those of you that don't know, we recover all of our GST, so that's not factored into the equation. The other thing is this is a one-time grant from DFA. If it fails again, if we just build it to the existing standards, it fails again, we are not covered by insurance on that. So that's just another piece of information to know.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. I don't know which way to turn here, I guess your way. The reserve that it makes reference to, could you tell us what reserve that is from? And the $40,000 RMI funding, is that an eligible component of that program?
Is it for the lights?
Let me speak to the RMI. We'll put it forward. It's part of water park improvements. We have a general category of waterfront improvements, and we've upgraded the lighting at Gyro Beach under that program. So we're just extrapolating that we are doing an upgrade to the waterfront. So at that time, we'll do the lights as well.
Is there a possibility it may be turned down?
We'll just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Well, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. We'll just do it, and we're not going to, we have a general category of waterfront improvements, and there's an argument that this is a waterfront improvement.
Okay.
So we just do and tell them we've done it, and they say, great.
All right.
They did. The minister was here recently, and the CAO and I took her and two of her staff on a little tour of the RMI projects, and they were very impressed and sent us thank you letters. So I think they'd be all right.
And also the Canal Trail lighting was paid for by the RMI project as well.
And these lights would be the same as on the Canal Trail.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm curious about the reserve funding as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that my report wasn't before Jim's report, but ultimately, this funding would come out of general reserves. It's not a water or sewer fund project, so it would be out of our general. And I believe that we do have that funding available if council wishes to proceed with that.
Okay. Do you know what the balance is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I do know what our current surplus is from this year, and our 5-year financial plan that we had adopted prior to that. Everything fit within those categories. So we with this new issue, we still would be online.
What I'd like to ask, did you have a question? No, okay. I'd like to ask Mr. Dinwiddie, if we don't repair this, I know it's the wall, but are we in danger of having the road there also sink down? I know that there was a concern with the sidewalk that's in front of just in front of the wall. Does that back up, or is the road?
Well, it's
separate?
hard to say. Like, if the wall was to collapse, it would take the sidewalk with it, and probably some part of the road as well.
Okay, all right. Okay, what would you like to do, Councillor King?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept option 1. The council gives pre-budget approval to tender the repair of the Cottonwood retaining wall, complete with improvements to upgrading the parking lighting.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? Thank you. Councillor Bennett. Anybody else have any concerns about this? Then I'm going to ask for a vote on this. All in favor of option number 1? Thank you. Councillor Harvey, you okay with that?
Yep.
Thank
In
you.
favor.
All right. Thank you very much. So does this mean that you need the money quickly to get started on this, or?
Yeah, we will put out a tender for the contract tomorrow.
Okay.
But the true is just waiting for us to say yes, and if we said yes, they will have a tender out. It'll go out over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Hopefully they can start work in January, February.
I'm a little bit concerned, too, about the fact that if we don't, I'm glad it passed, that we don't do it, and we don't do some upgrades to there. We understand that the flooding situation and the high water, the high groundwater, even though the lake is low right now, the high groundwater could make it easier for floods to occur next year, and
Maybe.
would hate to have this undermined again, and then we have to start from square one. So,
Yeah, if it were to fail again, I'm pretty sure the wall would fall over.
okay, well, let's pretend we don't know that. Okay, thank you very much. And next is the Fraser Basin Council Agreement, and that would be Mrs. Dynison.
Thank you. So a grant was awarded to the Community Services Department from the Fraser Basin Council to help offset the costs of installing direct digital controls in the Sonora Community Center. An agreement must be signed in order to receive the funds. In 2017, Council agreed to have direct digital controls installed in the Sonora Community Center for a total cost of $70,000. These controls are intended to offset energy costs and help us meet the standards of greenhouse gas reduction as part of the Climate Action Plan. A grant of $24,750 from the Fraser Basin Council was awarded to the Community Services Department to partially pay for the installation of direct digital controls at the Sonora Community Center. In order to receive the grant and move forward with the project, an agreement between the Town of Osoyoos and the Fraser Basin Council must be signed, and there's an attachment with the agreement. So implications, no community implications. Organizational, a signed agreement will allow staff to continue on with the project. Budget, the grant awarded will help offset the costs associated with the project, and the remaining funds are identified in the 2018 budget. Significant dates, the agreement should be signed soon. The project must be tendered by February 2019. And options, number 1, council approves the signing of the agreement. Option 2, council does not approve the signing of the agreement. Or option 3, council requests additional information prior to making a decision. The recommendation is that we recommend option 1, council approves the signing of the agreement. Approval of this agreement will assist to decrease the town's greenhouse gas impacts and climate change targets.
Thank you very much. My first question was, how does the Fraser Basin Council have anything to do with the town of Osoyoos?
It was a grant that Gerald had found for greenhouse gas reduction. And so what these building controllers will do will, basically we can set them so if we know a program is going to be happening at 5 o'clock, heat doesn't turn on until 4:45, lights don't turn on until that time, and then they turn off automatically. So we're not wasting heat or energy lighting the building when it doesn't, or heating the building when it doesn't need to be.
Good. Well, we need to thank Gerald Davis because he seems to be very good at applying for all the grants, so good for him. Yeah. Councillor Rhodes.
Well, this fits in the category of being a no-brainer for me, so I'll move option number 1. But I would like to ask a question.
Okay, could we have a second?
Yeah,
Thank
second.
you, Councillor King. Go ahead.
Just to pick up on Mayor McKortoff's comment, who are they? If I ever run into them, I'd like to thank them.
Yeah, I do too.
As far as I understand it, I wasn't really part of the grant application, but as far as I understand, they're a council that is assisting communities and organizations in making their greenhouse gas footprint reduced.
And I understand from listening to the news, now you never quite know when you listen to the news, however, we have some news people here, so I have to be careful, that Canada is falling behind in terms of climate action and greenhouse gas emissions. So this has to be a positive.
I would
we
think
can
so,
do
yeah.
our bit. Our bit. Yes, Councillor King.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I definitely support this. This went through community services, and any time you can bring outside money to the table, I think that's a plus. I guess there's a question. Is this kind of standard type of agreement with the town?
I haven't read all the details, but basically the agreements are that we'll complete the project within the time frames that they have identified, and then we're going to ensure that we do the things that I've identified in the project, and that we're going to meet the time frames and do the accounting and
Okay,
let them know.
Thank you.
And probably some promotion as well.
Yeah, thank you.
And I agree, it's 18 pages there, what they've sent us, so they must do these things for other groups as well and have come up with it. Okay, so we have moved and seconded that we go with, we approve the signing of this agreement. All in favor? Thank you. Councillor Harvey?
Yes, in favor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was carried?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Just a little note here, little digression from the agenda. The town encourages and promotes and assists staff to continue lifelong learning and professional development to continue improve their services to our citizens. I'm very pleased today that to present to Sarah a certificate from the University of Victoria. Sarah has graduated from a professional specialization certificate in local government management. She had to complete several courses and optional and core courses in local government administration. So congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
And we'd like to say that we're very happy that Sarah has accepted the job as the acting development service.
Community Services Director.
I'll get it right. Acting Community Services Director. So I don't know where you find the time to do all this stuff, Sarah, but we're very glad that you do. So thank you.
I send my kids to bed really early. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the October income statements, Town of Osoyoos and Sunbowl Arena. Mr. Zackel.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. So before council is the October income statements for the town of Osoyoos and Sunbowl Arena. The income statements to October 2018 are presented to council for the town of Osoyoos and Sunbowl Arena. The accounts to October 31st, 2018 have been reviewed and are accurately reflected in the attached documents. Some of the highlights for the town of Osoyoos income statement is the general fund has a projected surplus of $303,100. And I'll just touch on all the highlighted areas. Under taxes, real property levy, there's a slight difference due to some supplementary adjustments that we've received. Under taxes collected for other governments, it's the same situation where we've got a slight difference due to supplementary adjustments that we've received. Taxes collected from utilities, we've got a $300 surplus. Under cemetery operations, we're projecting a deficit of $1,600. But likewise, on the expense side, it's also in a good situation. Under licenses, permits, and rentals, our boat trailer parking revenues were $23,551 this year, which helped offset the costs of the leasing and operating the boat trailer parking lot, and also the purchase of the paid parking meter. We're projecting a surplus of $11,400 from business licenses and the Fortis franchise fees. Under solid waste management, our revenues are $7,534 higher than this time last year, and we're projecting a surplus of $50,000. Under development and building services, this has been a really good year. Projected surplus of $50,000. Building developments increased significantly in 2018. Under return on investments, we've got a current surplus of $51,740, and I'm projecting a surplus of $65,000, and this is mainly due to the slight increases that we've had to the bank rate. Under donations, I'm projecting a deficit of $7,000. Under land and equipment sales, land sales of $1,348,500. We have $126,206, which is the estimated amount due to the province for their portion of the airport lot sale, with the town's portion being $103,794 for recovery of expenses incurred for the infrastructure installed up at the airport. So basically, I've got $1.118 million transferring to reserves for future land purchases as per council's resolution earlier last year. Under community services facility revenue, this one's projected to be on budget. Under the program revenue as well, projected to be on budget. Unconditional transfers, conditional transfers, and borrowing and transfers from own funds are all projected to be on budget, and they're all tied to capital projects. Under general operating expenditures, our general government services is under budget by $13,884 at this time, and it's projected to be on budget. For protective services, we're under budget by $523,359.07 at this time, and RCMP billings are basically the large portion of that, and they're billed on a quarterly basis, so it takes a while to get those in. This is to be projected to be under budget by $30,000. Transportation services is currently under budget by $71,013. This is has a projected budget or under budget of $20,000. Environmental health is under budget by $31,800, and I'm projecting this to be under budget by $5,000. Under public health, under budget by $12,900 and projected to be on budget. Community services, under budget by $33,500, projected to be on budget. Parks and cultural, under budget by $45,900, and this is projected to be under budget by $30,000. South Okanagan emergency preparedness, under budget by $754 and projected to be on budget. We've also got transfer taxes, debts, and reserves. And we've had a bunch of additional funds, like I said earlier, transferred to reserves for land sales. And I'm also projecting a surplus of $50,000 over and above that, the land transfers. Under capital expenditures, we're projected to be on budget for the projects that are being completed. Under our sewer fund, projecting a surplus of $318,225. This is mainly due to our monies that we received from Reflection Point, $190,320. and $56,000 from Spirit Ridge for Phase 3 sewer capital charges. So this projected surplus is $260,000 for that. Under operating, current surplus $137,470, and I've got a projected under budget of $50,000. Debt charges, projected surplus of $8,225, and this is due to a loan being paid out by Municipal Finance Authority early, which was Bylaw 953. Under water fund, projected surplus of $89,950, and this is mainly due to decreased operating costs in our water district and water operating. We've got a projected surplus of $70,000 there. Under Sun Bowl Arena, our revenues of $704,000 are $108,000 higher than 2017 at this time, and revenues are projected to be on budget. Expenses of $583,700 are $63,429 higher than 27 at this time, and this is also projected to be on budget. And currently, we have a current surplus of $120,489 for the Sun Bowl Arena, and this is more than likely going to be on budget by year end. So this is for discussion. It's the recommendation for council is for council to receive the October 31st, 2018 income statements for the town of Osoyoos and Sun Bowl Arena.
Thank you very much. Always kind of amazes me when you can come up with all these numbers and predictions, but you're usually right, so we appreciate it. Isn't he? I think he is.
He's always right.
Always right. Yeah. Okay, not usually.
Always right. Yeah.
Councillor Rhodes?
I was just going to move to receive the report.
Okay.
And I love those two words, under budget.
Yeah.
It's almost in every one of those lines.
Well, we do have to thank the directors for their work when they, as they're doing things. Fortunately, we're having a good year, and also that our staff are doing their job at getting the best price and things like that. So
Mr. Dinwiddie hasn't eaten up the budget yet?
No, he's
not yet.
He's doing good.
Okay, good. Well, thank you to all of the directors. Now, do we need
I didn't see a seconder.
And Councillor Bennett seconded that?
I have a question.
Absolutely. And it was just to receive it? There's nothing?
There's nothing
okay.
else.
Anybody? No. Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you just expand on the borrow and transfers? We've only transferred $350,000 and your budget is $2 million.
Yeah, well, this is all tied to the capital project. So as capital projects
Those are just coming in at the end of the year?
Yeah, and our transfers from own funds, it's more of an accounting entry that'll happen once the projects are complete. We've got a few large capital projects that are in the works, so that's why it's low right now.
And Councillor Rhodes asked a question before, wondering where the reserves would come from. Did you find that? Or is there?
We explained that was coming from General Reserve Fund for the Cottonwood wall.
Okay.
And likewise, this projected surplus of $303,000 in general will definitely help pay for that.
Okay. Okay with that. All right. So it's been moved and seconded that we accept this. All in favor? Thank you very much. Councillor Harvey?
Yes, in favor.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zackel. Next is the Destination Osoyoos Regional Tourism Marketing Fee for Service. Mr. Romanko?
Yes. The current 3-year agreement is about to expire at the end of December. The town has provided Destination Osoyoos financial assistance to facilitate tourism marketing for approximately 15 years. The previous agreement was a 3-party agreement that included the regional district and the Inconip Resort. The past 3-year agreement was in the amount of $75,000 for the marketing portion. Attached is the new agreement, which is relatively unchanged from the previous agreement. One change is that the partners to the agreement are now allowed voting members on the DO board. Previous municipal conflict of interest legislation didn't allow for council representatives as voting members. Therefore, the town representatives function only as an information conduit between DO and council. Current legislation allows council-appointed board members to vote on board matters and to continue the information conduit function. The agreement outlines the reporting DO must provide to council to ensure accountability for funds provided to DO. In terms of implications, the community benefits from Destination Osoyoos is marketing the community and operating the visitor center. Terms of organizationally, DO assists in developing the annual resort municipality report. Terms of budget, the agreement amount remains at $75,000 per year for 3 years, with an option to provide to provide a CPI increase. Terms of significant dates, the current agreement ends December 31st, 2018. 3 options are presented to Council. First, Council approves the attached 3-year agreement with DO to provide tourism development, marketing, and visitor services for the town of Osoyoos and authorizes the mayor and corporate officer to sign the agreement. 2, Council denies approving the agreement and directs administration to inform DO that no agreement related to tourism development, marketing, and visitor services will be contracted with DO. And 3, Council requests additional information prior to making a decision. And the administration recommends option number 1. This funding supplements MRDT funds and assists in delivering the identified services relating to tourism development, community marketing, and visitor center operations.
Thank you. Council, anybody like to make it? Councillor King?
Yeah, I'll move option 1. Council approves the attached 3-year agreement with DO to provide tourism development, marketing, and visitor service for the town of Osoyoos and authorizes the mayor and corporate office to sign the agreement. Then I do have a question.
Thank you. Is there somebody who's seconding that? Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor
Thank
King.
you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, as I see, I do support this agreement, but technically, if we could town actually choose a different organization to give this funding to, if they so see fit?
This is budget money, so yes, if there was another organization, Council could provide it to anybody, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. What portion of that funding is used for administration, do we know offhand?
There's no directive in the agreement that that distinguishes how the money is being used, as long as it's used for the general purposes to achieve the stated goals of the agreement.
Could we ask that question of them?
We can ask that question, yes.
And I believe they're coming to Council in the new year to provide an overview of what they're...
Well, they were just here.
They were just here. I don't.
Yeah,
Did they
that's
come back
right,
in March?
but I thought they were...
In March.
They're coming back in March.
They'll come and provide an overview of their previous year's accomplishments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could that help?
Yeah, I would like to know what portion of that is used for administration in that organization.
So just for clarification, administration being salaries, office
Yes.
operations.
Yeah.
So was there anything else that we... So we've had it... Are you okay? You're okay with
Yeah.
that, doing that? So we have a motion for option number 1. Are we ready to ask all in favor of option number 1? Thank you very much. Councillor Harvey, you okay with that?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you. And so that's passed. Now, we're on to the second part, the Destination Marketing Agreement 2019-2023. Mr. Romeko.
Okay. This is a second agreement. The Destination Marketing Agreement enables the town to identify Destination Osoyoos as the town's destination marketing organization, DMO, thereby enabling DO to receive municipal and rural district tax funds, MRDT funds. In the past agreements, MRDT funds were received by the town, then issued to DO. The amount of funds received by DO was based on a 2% MRDT paid on hotel nights. Council previously passed bylaw number 1327 that enabled the collection of up to a 3% MRDT. The attached letter and agreement reflect DO's request for funds to be paid directly by the province to DO and is requesting a letter of support for the MRDT to move to 3%. The province recently enabled the MRDT to be increased to 3%, provided that sufficient support was garnered from hoteliers in the affected areas. DO has successfully achieved the needed support and now wants to make application to the province for a 3% MRDT in Osoyoos. The $150,000 increase in funding will be used to increase marketing of the community. Communities that choose to increase their MRDT rate will also support a new provincial tourism events program. 0.2% percentage points of the incremental 1% collected would go back to the province for this program. Currently, the town receives the funding from the province, and the following internal workings must be completed within the associated time impacts. So I just highlighted what our finance department, the various processes that they go through when the money comes in. So the associated actions of receiving and providing funds consumes approximately 16 hours of staff time annually. Additional time is spent linking with the province to ensure that annual reports are completed on schedule. The annual report system for MRDT have become very encompassing and measurement related. Therefore, accountability to the province to achieve stated goals is very high. The annual reporting requirements for 3% MRDT are more complex and demanding in that than the 2% MRDT system. The attached agreement has DO coming to Council for approval in November of each year and reporting on accomplishments in March of the following year end. Some resort municipalities have MRDT funds channeled directly to DMOs. In terms of implications, the business community benefits from DO marketing programs and increased marketing may result in additional tourism development in our community. Organizationally, having DO receive funds directly from the province will save our finance department approximately 16 hours work that can be channeled to other areas. No budget changes for the town. In terms of significant dates, DO is attempting to move ahead with the application because it estimates to be about 9 months before it gets 3% approval. In terms of options, 6 are presented to Council. First being Council approves providing DO a letter of support for a 3% MRDT program. 2, Council denies providing a letter to support for the 3% MRDT program. 3, Council approves DO's request to receive MRDT funds directly from the province as the town's designated MRDT fund recipient and approves signing of the attached agreement. Number 4, Council denies DO's request to receive MRDT funds directly from the province as the town's designated MRDT fund recipient. 5, Council provides changes to the attached agreement. And 6, Council requests additional information on one or both of the DO requests. In terms of recommendation, the administration recommends options number 1 and 3. Previously, Council supported the 3% MRDT by making the option available through changes to Bylaw number 1327. Additional MRDT funding and marketing activities may increase tourism development. Second, identifying DO to receive MRDT funds directly from the province will free up staff time for other tasks with no risk to the town. The proposed agreement has DO coming to Council annually to approve its plans and reporting the previous year's activities.
Thank you. And there is a letter here too from Destination Osoyoos outlining what they would like. Councillor King, did you have?
No, go ahead, read the letter, then I'll talk.
No, we're not going to read it.
We don't. No, we won't read it. But there is a letter asking what has just been Mr. Manco has summarized. Go ahead.
I'll pass option 1. Council approves for writing DO a letter of support for the 3% MRDT program, because it sounds like they lobbied hard, and it's the hotels that really collects the tax and benefits them the most. So I see no reason not to support the letter.
And are you seconding that?
No.
Okay. And did you want to speak to it? No? Or the second part? No, this one?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So generally, I'm in favor of the increase to 3%, supported it last time. I'm wondering how that fits in with other communities. Do you have any knowledge about the province of Alberta?
Well, I know that there's a number of different, a number of the resort municipality communities are going to be going to the 3%. The larger communities, Kelowna, Penticton, they're all going to 3% as well. But I know that Fernie, Tofino, Ucluelet, Invermere, just off the top of my head, I know that they have gone to the are going to 3%.
So, and the criteria is the buy-in by accommodators in our community.
That's right. Yeah, they have to have 50% of 50% plus one of the hotels plus the number of rooms as a criteria for approval.
Okay, so basically what we're doing in its simplest form is we're supporting their initiative.
That's right. We're supporting, the town is supporting their initiative, as I mentioned, which was previously done because the previous bylaw only had the MRDT allowance to 2%, and then council approved the bylaw that enabled it to go to a maximum of 3%.
Yeah.
And you know what, I know that it's coming up at the RDOS meeting, and and Destination Osoyoos has asked them as well, because I guess some of their accommodators are outside of town limits.
No, the accommodators in the regional district are not part of the MRDT. Only the ones in town.
Isn't that interesting? Because there is something on our agenda for this week of them asking the regional district to.
It could very well be that they're asking the regional district because they're part of the marketing agreement.
Okay, that's likely what it is. Go ahead, Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you again. I just wanted to make that point so that we don't confuse this by us forcing taxation on visitors to our community. That we are supporting it, but we aren't not the instigators, and we. So I just wanted to make that point for that reason.
Good, thank you. So we do have a mover and a seconder for option number 1, a letter of support. All in favor? Thank you. Councillor Harvey?
Yes, in favor.
Thank you very much. Now we have another motion. Is there somebody who would like to make the next motion? No? I can't, can I? No.
There was a Councillor Benedict.
That the MRDT funds go directly to DO rather than coming to the town. Are you somebody okay with that? You move that? Thank you very much. Is there a seconder? I'll second it. I can do that. So obviously this is a bit of a concern. Is there anybody who'd like to speak to this? Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Member McKortoff. I don't have a clear thought on why I feel uncomfortable about this. I seen the staff time that we will save and that kind of thing, but when it comes to taxation and dollars and how it flows from one level of government to another, I always have a high level of comfort when it's filtered through the town system, so to speak. And I don't really see the big advantages of it. I have a high level of comfort because we have some control over it. Never to put any bad thoughts or anything in anybody's mind, but Destination Osoyoos is a pretty solid organization. We see lots of benefit in our community from the work that they do, and some of the things that they organize are pretty spectacular in our community. But what if that organization changes in some negative way? Then I would feel very comfortable and very glad that we did make a decision to keep the money flowing through the town and that type of thing. And I'm going to repeat myself again. This is not a disparaging remark towards Destination Osoyoos in any way, but I think it's important for councils to look towards potential issues that may come up in the future, and not suggesting that there is or might be or anything pending, but I think we need to do our due diligence, and I would speak against this motion for those reasons.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you,
King.
Madam Mayor. I will also be speaking against this motion. I understand it would cost us some staff time, but I think it's prudent for us to receive the money and then pass it through to them.
And when I looked at it, and I totally understand what both of you have said, but I thought when DO has to come to council in November of each year, sort of requesting this and asking for the money to go over, and the fact that there's several hours work by town staff to actually get the money, put it in our account, and then send it over there, I am going to disagree with both of you and say I'm okay with it going directly to Destination Osoyoos. But partly because so many of the other municipalities do that as well already, so it seems to work. However, Councillor Bennett.
I'm going to speak in favor of it for the simple reason that I don't think it's going to change the control. The money's still going to come through. It's still going to go through. They still have to come to council and do reports. And basically, if they don't do what they're supposed to do with the money, then the money stops flowing and the town takes over control, if I understand it right, Barry.
That's right. There's a termination clause in the agreement as well.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if Councillor Harvey would like to weigh in on this, or how do you feel?
Yeah, I'll speak in favor of it as well. I mean, as noted earlier, it's not the town requesting this in terms of an increase in the MRDT. It's DO with respect to the funders. And so the optics get muddy when we say that on the one hand, but no, we want the money to go through us on the other. So I think it's fine.
So I'm a little bit confused now. Did we go to option number 3, or did we not?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Option number 3, which was to approve that DO's request to receive the MRDT funds. Okay. And I know that we have two sides to this. So I'm going to go ahead, Councillor Rhodes, before we take a vote.
Thank you, Member McKortoff. Just maybe to expand on my previous comments, there is a level of due diligence that a municipality like the town of Osoyoos would provide that is often not there with other kinds of organizations, and that certainly adds a level of comfort on my part, and I just wanted to maybe expand on that a little bit with that comment.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Romanko, can we ask, is when Destination Osoyoos receives, if this was to pass and they receive the money, is that an automatic, are we CC'd on it? In other words, is the town, would they be notified at the same time that this was happening, or is it totally out of our hands?
I really don't know the exact answer. I can find out. My assumption would be that we would be out of the loop.
Out of the loop.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we wouldn't know. But there's certainly a contract here which has all of that in there. So,
but again, there is annual reporting required from the province, and we would get a copy of that report from them.
and an annual
As part of
report
it,
from
yeah.
Destination Osoyoos as
Yeah.
well with that information in,
Yeah.
right?
That
Councillor King?
information's actually in the agreement that they
Well,
would, it would change a little, doesn't it?
They have to do an annual accounting to the town. In March, they come and provide.
That's for the marketing dollars we give them. That would be separate.
But there's also, there's the work plan. They have to, yeah, it's in number 14. The society will prepare annual financial reports in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and submit this annual financial statement to the town for review on or before March 31st of each year. So ultimately, it's simpler for them just actually to provide a copy of the annual report that they provide to the province, because I've seen that report on it at the 2% level anyway.
It's
And
pretty heavy duty.
it's very, very, it breaks it down into very small chunks relative to the projects
And I hear
individually.
3%, it's a lot more paperwork.
That's right, and there's a lot more to the 3% report.
So does that mean if the town received the money and then it was passed over, that the town would be required to do the reports?
That's right, we're required to do the report now, but we give it to DO and we say, you know, do it and do it within the time frame so that we stay on the good side of the province.
Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Member McKortoff. In the report, Mr. Romanko, you made a reference to the 3% increase being approximately $150,000.
That's right.
I just wondered if you could do some simple math and tell me what the total amount would be.
Would be
50.
450,000 is what they would be getting.
Now.
It would be just over $500,000.
Yeah.
They get about 380 now, and this 150 would move it just over
Yeah, that's right.
$500,000.
The reason for asking that question is we're not talking about small amounts of money. These
No.
are huge funding dollars from the province, and I don't know, I hate to keep beating on the same drum, but I certainly feel very strongly about us keeping care and control over this funding for the reasons previously mentioned, and that new dollar value that was just brought forward.
Okay. Can I ask when the money comes to the town of Osoyoos, the 2%? In other words, do we just literally put it in and transfer all of it? We don't keep any of it?
We don't keep
deal with-
anything.
We don't keep anything. So I guess that's why I would feel comfortable having them accept it. But I see that there's two sides to this for sure. Councillor Rhodes again.
Thank you, Member McKortoff. Well, not to be argumentative, but I guess I am. That's a very, very simplistic view of, yes, that's all that happens with the money.
Well, I know.
This is way more complex than just a money transfer from one bank account to another.
Well, it is in the sense that with the money flowing through our books, then we have to be accountable to the auditors relative to showing that the money has been moved to DO, and then that the annual reports for the province become part of the audited portions of our process as well.
So I do see in the it was in the agreement that number 20 in there says, in the event that the society is discontinued or dissolved, or the agreement expires or is terminated, then the society will immediately deliver to the town all undisbursed tax funds together with any interest earned thereon. And the town may use it for the tax funds for any purpose authorized by the regulation. So I guess I have a feeling that there is something in the bylaw which covers that concern that you have, but totally get it, yeah.
I'm just wondering, with this agreement, if there's a couple of paragraphs in here that might have to be reworded. And I'm looking at number 27, and I might be reading it wrong, but I'm just wondering here, it kind of says we have to agree with them.
All communications regarding this agreement shall be jointly agreed upon by the town and the society private to any public.
They're providing a work plan to council. Their work plan has to be approved by council. So that in a sense is...
But they've already spent the money for 3 months before they come to us, so to speak. They don't report till March.
No, they're reporting on the previous years in March. In November, they're coming to...
It actually says they have to be here by August.
Or by August. Yeah, they have to
They're a little
present... They present their plan for expenditure in August.
For the following.
Yeah, for the following year. Council approves that plan, and then that would be speaking to item number 27.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a bit of a hot issue, but I think we have it moved and seconded that we go with option number... Oh, you have something
Let me
else?
just
Go
ask one more
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
Because in their new bylaws, they allowed a person, and I'm an alternate on there, to vote. Do I become kind of a conflict of interest?
No. according to what the community charter now allows, because you're appointed by council, you can vote on the board there, and you can vote here in council.
So I could vote there for it and vote against it here?
Yes.
Or vice versa?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to get
Yeah.
clarity.
No,
I know I
interesting. Yeah.
stick my neck out.
USA.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Councillor Rhodes.
Does this require approval first from the province?
Well, the agreement, no, it doesn't require approval from the province. Once the municipality says that, once they identify, because what this is doing is identifying who your DMO is, who your destination marketing organization is. So once that is done, it's the municipality's call.
So we're making this decision. What if something goes astray with that organization? Do we have responsibility and liability in that area? Because we
There's
authorize
a clause in here.
the change?
There is something in here.
There's
I apologize in advance.
no, that's fine. No,
because we better talk about it for sure.
in terms of Article 24, the town and the society mutually agree to indemnify and save harmless each other relative to the agreement. So if they do something wrong, we're not liable. And again, if they do something wrong, and this agreement does have a termination clause in it, if the organization is not meeting its obligations.
Yes.
Also,
Councillor Bennett.
the town is named on their policy as additional insured. So if they get sued, the town, that's part of the agreement that
You
the
can
town
speak
is-
into your mic, Myers. I can't
sorry.
hear you over here.
Yeah, part of the, in this agreement also is that the town is named on their insurance policy as additional insured, as that's part of the agreement for $2 million.
So would that come
Does
off?
that have anything to do with this
Well,
particular?
If we're not-
say if they sued, and Barry can correct me, if they sued the town and Destination Osoyoos over some Destination Osoyoos did, their policy would respond first.
And so I see that this says time is of the essence of this agreement, so we
Well,
need to deal with it, right?
They always say
Oh,
that.
so
It's a legal clause relative to the agreement. I know that they wanted to get this agreement in
ASP.
as quickly as possible to, so that this, I guess, more so the letter of support, because it has to
Yes.
go with the application for the 3%. This does not have that same element of essence, but if there's additional information needed or something.
So we've
can
okayed
address.
the first part, which is the important part. So are we ready to take a vote on this? Okay. All right. So all in favor of option number 3, that it goes directly to DO, the funds. Brian, are you in favor of that?
I'm in favor of option 3.
Thank you very much. Against? And we have 2. So it's a 3-2, so it's passed. Is that correct?
That's
Thank
right.
you. Thank you. Well, it was worth bringing up all those points for sure. Okay. Next on our agenda is the general Sun Bowl and payroll accounts. And this is to report on expenditures from accounts payable for council approval and payroll information for council to receive. So as of December 3rd, 2018, general cash requirements of $426,714.14 and Sun Bowl cash requirements of $6,982.55, and those will be adopted by consensus. The net payroll accounts of $87,775.89, and that's for information. So we are now going to go up to back to the agenda, and we have committee reports, and I don't see any here, so the CAO report, please.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. Starting a few of the activities the administration has been involved in and planning, starting first in community services. The 2019 Winter Leisure Guide is due back from print this week, and winter registration programs registration starts on December 12th. Staff are preparing for the annual Rocking with Santa event at Sun Bowl on December 15th. A donation of $1,000 from the Elks was received and put on this event, and we thank the Elks. The Adult Volleyball League is winding down. Playoffs will start on Wednesday, and they're making arrangements with the Osoyoos Marine to install the de-icing equipment at the marina to prevent damage in the marina. In terms of corporate services, the director is working and meeting with the town of Oliver and regional district to establish a joint grant application for training and setup for emergency services. Reminder that to everyone that the BC Transit will be holding an open house in the town council chambers from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday, December 4th, to obtain feedback on from the residents on their needs and the various routes between Penticton and Kelowna. In terms of planning, new applications for a cannabis store on Main Street is being processed. Application has been received for a final phase of development at the south end of Dividend Ridge. In terms of special projects, staff are busy preparing outline for a business license update for council's consideration. In terms of public works, the Osoyoos sanitary landfill was broken into again. I think we've set a record this year for the number of break-ins, and we are looking at various options to deal with that, including a bear fence. And we're also making inquiries whether or not we can put up a gate on the road. It's a little bit too convenient to drive up to the landfill. The decorative informational plaques have now been plaque has been installed on the Canal Trail walkway, recognizing the provincial contributions and the contributions of council towards that project. Installation of the 3-bay swing with fall protection at Kinsman Park is now complete. Road alignment of Kingfisher 89th intersection is complete. Staff did a fall arrest training with our health and safety officer, and the installation of the Christmas decorations is now complete. And cleaning of storm drains is occurring throughout the community. In terms of myself, started working with the planning department to plan the resort municipality strategic planning session, which we identified will happen in February. Following up on the downtown planning session and the potential use of resort municipality funds in this area. Also met with the golf course board on their infrastructure grant application, and business planning and budget updates are occurring throughout the organization, and looking forward to the strategic planning session that we will be having for the next day and a half with Gord McIntosh as a facilitator. And that's my report for today.
Good, thank you very much. We have a motion to accept the report, please. Councillor King, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor. Thank you. And now we go to council reports, and I'm going to ask Councillor Harvey if he has a report first.
Since our last meeting, I've enjoyed a break from the rigors of this job, visiting with friends and family back east, and returning tomorrow. Looking forward to the strategic planning session.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you when you get here. Councillor Bennett.
I attended the school board meeting on November 21st. It was very interesting. It was very short, but I got to meet all the people from the school board, so it was very good to meet Casey and Brenda as well, although I've met them before, but officially. November 22nd, Destination Osoyoos had their AGM. Basically, they added 3 new people to the board. They're down to 9 directors because now they don't have the economic development now. So they've added Doug Robb from Osoyoos Golf and Country Club, which is great. Andy Foster from Mount Baldy, and a lady from the Similkameen Wine Association. I apologize, I forgot her name. November 27th, they had the board meeting for Destination Osoyoos. Attended that. Joanne was returned as president from JoJo's. Daniel Bibby from Incaneep as vice chair. And treasurer is Doug Robb from the Osoyoos Golf Club. So a big changeover from the people that used to be all sitting on the board. November 27th, I attended the Osoyoos Airport Development just as a member of society, and Jim will report on that. And then that's it.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Member McKortoff. Mr. Romanko mentioned our strategic planning session that we are going to have over the next couple of days. I wanted to mention that I was able to attend the regional district strategic planning session last week. Typically what happens at these things is there's a bunch of flip charts. Everybody breaks down into small groups and you vet out issues and things that are important in your community, and then you turn those into a plan so that you can move forward. Well, the regional district had theirs, and I wanted to just kind of run down the top 4 or 5 priorities that came out of that. I think most of us around here will find it pretty interesting, but one of the questions, I should mention, no stickies on the wall, no tape, they did it all electronically, and drew and got all of the conclusions from it within about 4 minutes after the voting took place. Really slick. So they asked one question of all the directors, very well attended. I don't know the numbers, but there was 40 to 50 people that attended this. And they wanted to know the top 5 issues that you felt that were most important. And I'll just read those off. The top one was access to health care. The second one was interface fire protection. The third one was natural disaster mitigation. Following one was the one that I liked the best, and I'm glad I've made it way up there, was the composting facility. Not composting in general, but the facility itself is a big, big concern. And I was really lucky because another one of my big bugs was up there in the issue, and that was the downloading of responsibilities from provincial and federal governments. And if anybody has ever listened to me, you know my feelings about that, which I won't go into. The other question that they asked was, select 5 opportunities that were the most important to you, different than issues. These were opportunities that they were looking for. The number one most overwhelming thing was trails and parks. The second one was regional power generation. There seems to be a real appetite for communities to start providing their own utilities in communities, including the regional district. And we all know that the city of Penticton is fully engaged in that right now. The next one was building relationships between the regional district and municipalities, which is always good. The next one was climate change and how the regional district is partnering and trying to make those situations better. And then the next one, once again, one that I really like, regional composting. So composting was right up there in both of those categories. So just wanted to pass on that information. It's always nice to know what other levels of governance have as priorities and selecting things that they want to move forward with.
Thank you. I was also at that meeting, but the issues one, I have the same as you, but the opportunities one, I had a few different ones in there. But so I think we were at the same meeting, but they didn't give us a lot of time to.
Yeah, I have the list that they sent from.
Okay,
yeah.
The list that he sent, yeah. But anyway, it was very interesting to look at that. So we've actually done one of these last week called a board retreat, which is really what we're doing tomorrow and the next day with Town Council. Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you heard earlier, I did attend DO's AGM with Councillor Bennett, and the couple of big things that came out in my eyes were they're not going to get involved with any events personally, but if there's any organizations out there that need some marketing help, they're more than willing to help the different organizations in town. And the other thing, they do not have any money to give out, so please stop asking them. I did attend another event along with the mayor, with a Business After Business, the South Okanagan Chamber put on. It was well received, and I would encourage other businesses, if they have the time, especially when it's in your backyard here in Osoyoos, that you do attend, because it's not so much the speeches that go on, but it's the networking opportunities you have to do some business while you're attending that. Then I also attended the AGM of the Airport Association, which to me was kind of an interesting event. They did give an update on the money they had secured this past year and some of the things they did up at the airport, like putting in fences and so forth. And they announced some new funding that they just received, but they are looking for some dollars to make sure they do receive that money to move forward. And I think talking about that, they did come to council back a few months ago, and it was passed that the town, will be looking at an overview of what type of governance model there should be for the airport, and I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and the parade, just a minute. Can't forget the parade. I really want to thank Councillor Bennett. It's the best automobile decorations I've seen as a council member on council, so I know we've made a new chairman, and Mr. Bennett, to be our parade decorator for the next 4 years. So thank you very much.
I vote against that.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who was involved with Christmas Light Up on Friday and Saturday. It was a great event. Myers, you've been hired to do the car from now on because you do it way better than anybody else, so thank you for doing that. Myers and Judy got some decorations, and his little convertible looked great in the parade. The only problem was that there were a couple of people along the parade route who said, why do Myers and CJ get to ride and Jim and Sue have to walk? But anyway, we got our exercise, so we're good.
Maybe you guys need it.
I want to thank Santa and Mrs. Claus. They do a wonderful job. They came to Smitty's on Friday morning. Smitty's again. I think they had served about 300 breakfasts that day. Pretty amazing. And there was lots of help from other groups, the Seroptimus, the Festival Society, the Kiwanis, and some of the Coyotes were there too. So it was really good. Also, the Kiwanis put on the craft fair the next day, and it's just a lot of volunteer work in this town. And I want to particularly thank Andrew Stuckey for dressing up as the snowman, although he seemed to get sick after that, so we want to disinfect the snowman outfit for sure. Anyway, thank you, Andrew. It was great. Also on Friday night, and I should say that on the Saturday breakfast with Santa and Pictures with Santa, I was there because I picked up Santa and brought him home again after. I think Nikki Dawn took, at last count, 790 photos that she went through. And what the best thing was, as I was sitting there watching all these kids go through and get lined up for photos, I thought, yes, look at all those kids that are going to fill our schools. And so I was delighted. It was great. On Friday night, I also went to the Soap play, It's a Wonderful Life, a radio play. It was at the Elks Hall. It was also there on Saturday night. It was extremely well done. It was quite fascinating because all of the, it was supposed to be just the radio, but we were watching it, and all of the sound effects were done by one gentleman in the back, and he had and he brought out this piece of metal, which you know he's going to shake and it's going to sound like thunder. And Birgit was sitting beside me, and she jumped every time that happened. So it was extremely well done. I would totally, suggest that if you haven't seen it, it's on at Frank Venables Auditorium next Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. It's wonderful to see our volunteer actors and actresses get involved with this. So it was well done. Lloyd Fairweather and the community choir sang in front of Home Hardware on Friday night, and I think they have a couple of other concerts that they're putting on in the next 2 weeks, and I'm not exactly sure which days those are, and I apologize, but they would certainly be advertised well on our town website and in the papers. Santa's Night Out, which is a grad fundraiser, is on December the 6th. This week it's at the Sonora Center. And Cod Gone Wild, which is putting on a concert in Osoyoos on the 13th, and that's up at the theater. And they were a group of Celtic music, is what I'm thinking, from Eastern Canada. And they were part of the Friday night music in the park. So there's lots of opportunity for people to get involved and attend things. There's some things in Oliver as well. There's craft fairs. This is a busy time of year, and please support our local businesses and our local events here. Thank you very much. And I need a motion to adjourn, please. Councillor King, Councillor Bennett. All in favor. Thank you very much, everyone.